Shadow here. What I'm about to discuss is for informational and educational purposes only. I'm going to review a 5-vehicle caravan in this video. Now the basics, what I'm about to explain, can be expanded or minimalized based on the size of the caravan. The options of caravan movement in certain times of survival is in fact a very viable possibility. Now that there are some obvious pluses and minuses to going solo and making the decision to establish and or moving in that caravan.
As a survivalist, moving in a solo position, you have the ability of having more mobility, flexibility of locations that you can move to, versus weighing out all the members of the group in a caravan and their ability to travel and move to that said location. As a solo survivalist, the only person that you have to worry about is yourself. The downside to flying solo boils down to support. If your vehicle breaks down, you don't have the parts to repair, you get stuck, and the high probability of getting attacked by a group of freebooters, then that lack of support becomes quite apparent unless you're prepared for or counteract those inevitabilities. Now, if you've never heard the term freebooter, people that have survived past the threshold of something severely tragic will fall usually into two categories. There will be the survivalists. Those are the individuals and groups that are resourceful of their surroundings. They'll be prepared in many ways for human and non-human threats and disasters, and they will usually help out a fellow survivalist as long as that interaction is maintained as a mutual advantage. And then there's the freebooter, the individual or group that believes in their acquisition of goods and items will be from killing other people, and survivalists if they can manage to neutralize one or more. Most freebooters will most likely roam in groups, using the element of surprise, ambushes, and chases to overrun and overpower individuals or more passive groups. Which leads me back to our topic of caravans. A properly prepared, equipped, and knowledgeable group of survivalists caravanning or moving in group will be a very formidable opponent to any number of freebooters, and if a counterattack, if not direct attack, is executed correctly, you can neutralize freebooters and acquire their goods for yours or for a group's advantage. Now getting back to the basics. Movement. When a civilian caravan is assembled, the point or force vehicle in the group should be the one with the most heavily armed and should not have anything of value besides defensive and offensive items. Example, firearms, ammunition, and the like. The individuals in this vehicle is a driver and a navigator with a good sense of direction. It would be advisable to have a second navigator in the second vehicle behind to concur with the one in the front. This helps limit the margin of error if a navigator does not see a potential problem that the other one picks up on. To increase efficiency, one navigator can be responsible for location of retreats, terrain layout, obstacles and hazards, and the other navigator can be responsible for details to getting to those locations. This sort of setup can serve as a backup to the event one navigator is neutralized and attacked in the point position and the group is not left helpless. Obvious coordination is important, and the ability to plan, think quickly is a must if evasion and fallback or alternative routes is required under stressful conditions or emergencies. Obvious equipment will consist of road maps, topographical maps, GPS. Not one item should be depended on, but should be used collectively for a better overall understanding and intelligence of waypoints and surroundings. Communication equipment is the most important element of all, especially in stressful situations. Devices such as handheld walkie-talkies can be used, but consist of batteries which can die if not monitored, but are handy in a variety of applications. CB radios, or civilian band radios, are good alternatives to communication, but have limited range. But then in any group situation or setting, the group should stick together, so range should not be much of a factor during movement. A better alternative communication can be a ham radio. To legally transmit from a ham radio, you need an operator's license, but ham radios and their distances in some cases can reach around the world under proper conditions and equipment. These portable units can be purchased for roughly $200 and up, sometimes cheaper depending on the unit. One word of caution: if you're trying to keep your message confidential, code should be established because anyone with a transceiver or receiver can intercept that signal. In the case of ham radios, these signals are monitored by the FCC. So the second vehicle from the front can have some supplies that can be expendable and firearms for backup support for the point vehicle. The third vehicle should consist of anything of relative value: food, electronic equipment. The driver and passenger should have at least a sidearm or some firearms if available. The fourth vehicle should consist of anything of value, such as sensitive equipment, or any individual that cannot defend themselves directly, such as children. pretty much anything else that has been deemed non-expendable to the group. The last vehicle should consist of some storage items. It should be equipped with a back seat and have the ability to have a clear view of the back. It's advised that the rear seat be turned around facing the back of the vehicle, and a person or persons should be positioned in this location. This position is useful in locating approaching vehicles, surprise attacks from the rear, laying down suppressive fire, and the ability to dispense deterrents such as, but not limited to, tire spikes jacks, smoke screens, and explosive devices. This position can drastically increase the slowing down of neutralizing an attack and should not be overlooked.
So clear escape routes must be established if an ambush has been set, places where vehicles are to be funneled. Limiting the range of that caravan, such as front and back only, makes escapes from such situations very hard, if not impossible, and should be avoided unless absolutely necessary. So with that being said, I hope you're doing well out there, you're taking care of yourself. I appreciate your comments, and I will see you later.